positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know, we do it over here. You know, some people feel like I'm picking on Black culture when I point out things about Blacks in the culture. And I'm not picking on Black culture. I'm just pointing out things that people want to overlook or ignore or not acknowledge. There's a big sentiment of everybody's a victim in the Black culture, and that attitude is what keeps you stagnant, and it justifies a lot of bad behavior. And when I say Black culture, I'm not saying everybody, just to clarify also, because people say, well, you say everybody, like every Black is doing this and do it. No, I'm not saying every Black. And only reason I say Black is because when people try to identify with a certain group of people or with a certain ethnicity, I can only speak on Black because that's the hue of my skin. I can't speak on white because my experience is not what the white experience or what the Mexican experience is. My experience is reflective of what people perceive to be Black culture. And I make a clear distinction that I'm not to be put into that group either, because I don't want to be grouped with a bunch of individuals that have nothing to do with my beliefs or value systems. And so, like anybody else, I don't want to just assume everybody white is racist. Everybody Mexican is racist or don't like Blacks, or Chinese are all, anti-American. You know, I don't want to, it's not good to group anybody. You give everybody the benefit of the doubt to where, you have a conversation and then you can kind of, fill out where that person's at. But to just group everybody would be ignorant. And that's what they do in the news. That's what they do on social media. And so there got to be, distinctions, and people they just don't want to speak on it because they don't want to get canceled. They're afraid somebody's going to say something to them and, make it appear that, oh, you're just, talking about these people. You're not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who I see that may appear to look like me, but aren't necessarily my people. And for a lot of you youngsters out there, maybe you don't want to hear it. Maybe nobody's telling you the truth. You're getting babied. A lot of you guys have lack of coping mechanism, so you're very emotional. Instead of dealing with something in a rational way, you want to shoot somebody, you want to stab somebody, you want to do things that will come with consequences that you don't want to face, a reality you don't want to deal with. Perfect example is this young man who was involved in something and the situation entailed somebody losing their life. Check it out.
Nobody. No, I don't know nothing about no murder.
I don't understand why you keep lying.
I was a snitch and I would die. This is not no joke. You would die for that. Real talk. Mama, people get blocked and killed for snitching.
We're talking about life sentences here.
Right. And this is like really solutions and the people you choose to hang with and all of this.
Tides killed all three of them. Okay. Tell me about it. The whole story? The whole story. Let him talk. I say the whole story.
He said life. He's like, oh, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And then that same guy will go back to the holding tank or back to the unit, and you won't even know he told until right before you get ready to go to trial, and they do a separate T. And you get your discovery and you find out there's over 100 pages of him telling how you masterminded the whole lick, and that this person was unassuming as far as their involvement, and they took a plea deal. And if you go to trial, they're going to testify against you. That's how it works. You guys think that, I'm talking out the side of my ass. I'm telling you because I've seen it happen over and over again. Your day one, you guys were riding this and that, but he gets a visit from his girl, his baby mama. He gets a visit from his mom, and they're telling him like, baby, I know you didn't really mean to do that. Tell the people what really happened. And they just, spill the beans. Or they don't even have to, talk to their mom or the baby mama. They might just be talking to the detectives. And they're like, dude, you're looking at life. Just like that. Just like this other youngster right here who falls out in court and basically is looking at the rest of his life being spent in prison. Check it out.
Taekwon Kelly reacting to a judge's decision not to give him bail Tuesday. Kelly appearing before a Richland County judge on several charges, including 2 attempted murder charges. Forest Acres police say he shot into a woman's car Monday afternoon after some kind of domestic dispute. There were 3 other people in the car. Several schools were locked down after police launched a manhunt for Kelly.
This is a prime example. This guy was out on bail for another attempted murder. Everybody knows 9 times out of 10, if there's an attempted murder of a person, next thing his arrest is going to be a murder.
So when I point out these things, it's not that I'm picking on black people. I'm just saying that the more integrity you have for yourself, it will reflect in society and people will treat you different. If you drive through a neighborhood and you see that it's very clean, maybe it's a gated community, they got fruit on the trees, people are, out in front of their houses, maybe hanging out, or there's kids playing, well-kept lawns, you're gonna think like, okay, well, this is a nice neighborhood. People over here, looks like the houses are pretty nice, there's nice cars out here. You're gonna think differently about the people in that community, and that community probably has a certain type of vibe with it. Now, if you drive to another neighborhood, you see broken down cars, you see motor homes, you see trash, you see graffiti on the wall, you see certain things, you're gonna assume something about that neighborhood, and most likely what you assume is gonna be in alignment with that. That's a place where maybe the people are dealing with harsher economic conditions, possibly lower income, maybe higher crime. It's just a reality, man. It's not, you can't, it's not like you're stereotyping. You are to a degree, but it's most likely a reality, and you just got to be careful in those environments. But that goes back to what I'm saying is that if you project a certain amount of integrity and a certain image in society, it's almost like when you're going to an interview or you're out in public and you're wearing a suit or a button-up shirt and you look very professional. People are going to assume that you're a professional, that you're somebody that's going to an office, somebody that maybe has a high-paying job, somebody that's maybe in corporate America, or maybe you're a business owner. But if you're walking around and you got one of those hoodie masks on and you got a hood on and your pants are sagging, your ass is hanging out, and you're with a bunch of other people that look the same, they're gonna be scared to death. They're thinking you're gonna rob, you're gonna steal, because that's the narrative out there. That's what's being projected. So if you don't get that, if you don't want to, not be caught up in that whole imagery, you have to change what you project. And you can be like, oh, this is our culture, blah, blah, blah. Okay, go ahead, buy into all that. Buy into all that and let them set you up, because they're setting you up for failure. And you just got to know that other people that see that might, even if you are a straight A student or you're a business owner, but you project a certain thing, it can attract a certain element also. And even if you are a professional, people are like, oh, there's people who are professionals and they still get sweated. Well, man, it's reality. Everybody gets sweated. Everybody. I've seen everybody get sweated. So, but the odds are, if you are projecting a certain look, a certain vibe, you're going to attract a certain energy. It's almost like I used to see people and I'm like, that dude, the way he's carrying himself, he's going to get into some shit before the day's over with. And sure enough, he's walking around like he's a super gang member. He's high powered. And there's some really high powered dudes out here who are looking for other dudes who think they high powered, and they going to split their wig. And when I was in prison and I used to see, different guys roll up, there'd be a bus roll up and a lot of guys would be, waiting around to see who rolled up from where so they can get paperwork or find out, what happened in another institution. And you would have like all these guys roll up and, oh, the homie's supposed to, roll up on the bus right now, blah, 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 blah. And people would be excited to see other people that look like them coming to prison. And I'm not saying just blacks, I'm saying whatever race, because in prison, it's all about racial numbers. It's about like however many people are from that particular ethnicity, they gain power, and then that power comes with numbers, and then you could push a line on certain political subjects or topics, whatever the case may be. But that's prison, right? And guys would be excited, man. And I would think like every time I seen a bus roll up, how depressing. You got another group of young black men, young Mexican men, young white men about to lay down up in this penitentiary casket for possibly decades, maybe forever. And I didn't have homies rolling up from my hood. I didn't have a bunch of dudes I knew that would pull up and I'd be like, oh, the homie's here. What's up, man? What's going on? What was, blah, 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 blah. And some of these dudes, that was their only communication from the street. This dude has been locked up fighting this case for maybe a year. And this dude's been down for 10 years, 8 years, maybe a decade. And he's like, oh, what about so-and-so, man? Remember over by Whoopty-Wop? He's like, man, that's gone. Okay, what about old girl? Remember old girl, man, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, it's like you're reminiscing about things. You've been gone for a decade. People, 10 years has passed, but you're still stuck like when you got locked up, which is maybe when you were 22, and you're 35 now, 36. And that's what's sad, man. And you might not want to hear it. You might be like, man, you always talking. No, man, you need to hear it. You knuckleheads out there. Hopefully, if you hear this, maybe you'll think differently. But a lot of you guys are gone. I've already washed my hands. You talk shit in the comments. You're going to continue to do the dumbass shit. You want to embrace this prison shit. You want to go through this whole whatever hyped up rite of passage they conditioned the young black men to go through. Go through it. Go through it, man. Be the super gangster. Do all the time you want, man. This message is for the young men out there who are on the fence, who maybe don't want to be that guy, but somehow are maybe running with the wrong crowd of people, or you have potential to do other things with your life. You're making choices, but you can stop making those choices today and turn your life around. That's who this message is for. It's not for the ones who want to keep criticizing, oh man, black people, man, we always get this and we're always, no, that's the victim right there. Those people, I can't help them. I can't help victim mentality. I can't help the people who want to blame game, the people who want to always say it's because of the white man or this that. I know life is rough everywhere, man. I've talked to people who are from India who had it rough, man, who come over here and studied hard. I mean, everybody's like, oh, they have these 7-Elevens or these gas stations, or they stick together. They help other families come over. They, basically work within their community. They're not hiring outside their community, and that's how they bubble. You could do the same thing. Mexicans, I know a lot of them came over here. Parents came over illegally, later became legal. They were born over here. I met a guy, man, from Mexico, came over here when he was 12 years old, hustled, used to do landscaping, grew his landscaping business, ended up buying a truck and buying his own equipment, started his own crew. He said when he used to do the landscaping at these rich people's houses in Bel Air and Brentwood and Beverly Hills, he would ask them questions. He eventually started his own nursery, And the guy's a millionaire now. And he came over here illegally, but became legal. He's from Mexico. And dude, he never cried. I've never heard a Mexican talk about the white man. Oh man, he's because of him, I can't do this. I've never heard one. And I've met a lot of Mexicans who are millionaires, even gang members who are balling, and they've never blamed anybody. They just go out and get it. I've never heard them say that. And so when you sit here and you want to feel like, you're something special and you think that you deserve anything more than somebody else, well, the reality is the result might not be equivalent to the opportunity. Somebody can give you the opportunity, but if you don't put out the results in, it doesn't matter what opportunity, because you're not putting in the work to get the results. So even with the opportunities, you still got to put in the work. And that's where there's no excuses. So I'm just saying, man, own up to what your actions are and be realistic about what you're doing in life to elevate yourself, because you can't get mad or blame somebody else for your shortcomings, because I've seen people that's overcome, bad parents, drug addicts, and man, these guys, I'm like, man, I'm impressed, and I'm like, wow, and everybody has a story. There's a lot of stories out there with people who have went through adversity and challenges. And so let's get past the excuses and figure out a way to achieve. And that's all I'm trying to say. And so I'm not picking on black people. I'm not saying every black person. I'm not saying all black culture is garbage. And I'm just saying, man, what they want us to believe is the bullshit. The bullshit. Preying on each other, we all, want to be gang members. We all want to, do these snatch and grab. No, that's not everybody's doing that. There's a lot of professionals out there. I met a lot of guys who are very successful. All I'm saying is that the message is for those young men, and I know like men who aren't even black relate to this. Young white men, young Mexican men, young Asian men. I've heard, I've had parents that, say, Big Herc, the message hits different when you say it. So I know they can hear the message even if they're not black. But I'm just saying that I'm not picking on black culture because you want to always point the finger at me. I'm dancing for, so-called my white audience. I'm not dancing for anybody. Who the F are you? I was doing time when most of you guys were still in your mama's sack, your daddy's sack, actually, in your mama's womb. So don't tell me about dancing. And most of you guys, your whole game is, you'll shoot somebody. You ain't got no hands. You don't even know how to cap. You don't even know how to talk shit back and forth to where you can break somebody down through verbiage. You guys are so emotional, so weak. So miss me with the bullshit, man. I've been through it. I've seen it. I'm not the toughest. I'm not the baddest. I'm just me, man. I'm just sharing my life experiences that most of you guys shouldn't have to go through. I would hate for you guys to ever have to experience a lot of the things I've experienced. You think you're so hard, so tough, you want to be a badass. Hey, man, more power to you. More power to you, man. You want to be a badass? Go ahead. Sit up in prison with a bunch of dudes on your cell phone, playing like you're having it going on, eating top ramen that comes from a third world country, eating shit food, watching out for predators, hanging out, pretending to be somebody in prison while life is going on, man. You don't want to hear our message? Do what you want to do. Go hang out in juvenile hall. I've been there. Go there. Go to the prison. Go hang out, man. Go take your shit in front of everybody. Go beat your meat somewhere where they got to put a towel up. Hopefully nobody pull the towel down, see, busting a nut in the toilet. Go do all that. Go do it all, man. Be the man. Try to get, I'm a knock a guard. Go do all that. Deal with all that. Deal with the police. Deal with having to work in slave labor conditions. You talk about all this stuff. You go there, you're going to be a slave. You're going to be a slave in prison because you're going to be working a job and you're basically locked up. So you're indentured servitude. You're working, you're a slave. Go do all that, But sometimes harsh words, it can't be candy coated. This part of the game can't be candy coated. So I'm just sharing with you guys. BigHerc916, take it how you want, but I know this is gonna save a lot of lives, and that's my goal in life, is to save lives. Black lives, Mexican lives, white lives, Asian lives, European lives, it don't matter, man. I wanna save lives. I just happen to be the vessel. The guy gave me this skin color, he gave me this skin tone, this voice, my experiences, you know, and I'm just a vessel for them. 916. Contact me for life coaching. And officially, I only got one real spanking my entire life. My mom did the best a 14-year-old could do, raising me with love and instilling values that will last a lifetime. I was a straight A student and lived to make her happy. So how did I go astray? A horrible stepdad that stole my self-worth and invoked fear turned me into a person that I struggled to overcome. From skateboarding to selling drugs, gang banging in juvenile hall, I got caught the same way many young promising men get caught up. I struggled to find my identity, getting mixed up in shootouts, crime, and the adult entertainment industry. This roller coaster continued as I juggled college, hustling, and Hollywood, eventually catching a federal bank robbery case. I found redemption in prison while serving a 120-month federal sentence and came out a man on a mission. I became a social media influencer with over 500 million views on YouTube and a life coach mentoring people all over the world. This is my journey. To pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt, I'll throw in a free poster. Clothes are coming. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigHerc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh,